Have you ever felt like you're just not learning fast enough? Well, today we are going to dive into 12 brain hacks that are seriously going to change the game for you. These aren't just tips, they're ways to make learning quicker, stickier, and honestly, a whole lot more effective.
Just let that one sink in for a second. This isn't about having a high IQ, not at all. It's about finally getting the user manual for your own brain. See, your mind has a system, a set of rules for how it works best, and we're about to learn those rules together.
All right, so let's make this a little more interesting. As we go through these 12 tricks, I want you to keep a little mental scorecard. Just count how many of these are brand new to you. One of these, I promise, could be the one thing you've been missing.
Kicking things off at number 12, the sleep sandwich. Now, if you've ever pulled an all-nighter to cram for something, you've actually skipped the most important part of learning. Seriously. Sleep is when your brain does all the hard work of filing away information, moving it from that temporary RAM into permanent storage. It's not lazy, it's literally part of the process. This is exactly why. You know that feeling when you wake up and suddenly something just clicks? That's not magic. That's your brain, having spent the night organizing and making connections while you were asleep. The sleep sandwich just intentionally uses this natural superpower. All right, coming in at number 11 is a way to beat a really common trap. Our brains are sneaky. You practice something a couple of times, it feels easy, and you go, yep, I got this. That's called the illusion of mastery, and it's the place where progress just stops. The fix? It's so simple. Just make tiny little changes to keep your brain on its toes.
And this right here is the whole idea in a nutshell. Real, actual growth only happens when you're just a little bit uncomfortable. You want to stay in that sweet spot of productive struggle. That little bit of friction, that's the signal that your brain is actually building new connections, not just going over old ground.
At number 10, we've got a technique that feels wrong but is oh so right. Interleaving. We're all taught to do one thing over and over until we master it. That's the old way. But the smart way is to mix things up. Studying A, then B, then A again, forces your brain to work harder to spot the patterns and differences. And that extra effort is what builds really strong, flexible memories. Okay, number 9 sounds almost too simple to be real, but it is a surprisingly powerful way to control your mental state. Chewing gum literally reduces stress and boosts blood flow to your brain, making you more alert. And this pro tip is genius. If you always chew the same flavor when you study, you create a mental trigger. Your brain smells that mint or cinnamon and goes, oh, okay, time to focus.
Just as simple, but maybe even more important, is number 8, intellectual hydration. Your brain is mostly water. All those electrical signals flying around depend on it. Being even a little dehydrated can totally sabotage your focus. This little ritual, sip, breathe, start. It's like a pre-flight check to make sure your brain has the fuel it needs to perform. Number 7 is one of my absolute favorites, using multiple mediums. Think about it. If you only read something, you've created just one path to that memory. But when you also say it out loud or draw a picture of it or try to explain it, you're creating multiple hooks for that same piece of information. It's like saving a file in 3 different places on your computer. Way easier to find later. Okay, let's reframe a popular idea at number 6. Forget those wild claims about reading a novel in 5 minutes. Real speed reading isn't a magic trick. It's all about efficiency. It's about training your eyes and your focus to cut out the dead time. You know, when you reread the same line 3 times or get totally distracted, shaving off that wasted time gives you a massive advantage. For number 5, I want you to stop thinking of music as background noise and start thinking of it as a tool for emotional engineering. A lot of us use it to fight boredom, but its real power is in managing your mood. If you're stressed out or anxious, your brain's ability to learn just tanks. Using the right music to get into a calm, focused state isn't just nice, it's strategic. Number 4 hits on a universal truth about our brains. They just hate being overloaded. This is why cramming for an exam feels terrible and almost never works. Those short, daily 20-minute sessions are so much more powerful than one giant 3-hour marathon. This is called spaced repetition, and it's one of the most scientifically backed ways to get things to stick for good. This brings us to a huge mindset shift at number 3, and this slide says it all. We are wired to want the easy way out, but when it comes to learning, that's a trap. The struggle, the effort, the feeling of it being a little bit hard, that's what's actually burning the information into your brain. Just remember, easy in, easy out. Number 2 is my favorite way to find out if I really know something. The teach back trick is like a super fast diagnostic test for your own brain.
When you try to explain a complex idea simply, you're forced to organize your thoughts. And if you stumble, boom, you've instantly found the exact spot where your understanding is weak. It's brutally effective.
So, let's try it. Think about the last thing you tried to learn. If I asked you right now to explain it to me without looking at your notes, could you do it? If the answer is, or I'm not sure, that's a sign that the knowledge isn't really yours yet. And that leads us straight to our number 1 hack, the retrieval ladder. This flips the whole idea of studying completely upside down. Instead of just rereading your notes, you start by forcing your brain to retrieve the information. You start with a blank page and try to pull the knowledge out of your memory first before you even glance at the source material.
And this is why it's number 1. That feeling of struggle when you're trying to remember something, that's not a sign you're failing. That is the workout. That's the process of learning happening in real time. Every single time you successfully pull a memory out, you're making that mental pathway stronger and easier to access next time.
And here it is. This is the ultimate takeaway. The secret isn't about being a faster reader. It's about being a faster rebuilder. Fast learners aren't passive sponges soaking up info. They are active builders, constantly testing, retrieving, and reconstructing what they know to make it stronger. Which brings us back to that scorecard you were keeping. Look, the goal here is not to try and do all 12 of these things tomorrow. The goal is to pick just one, the one that made you go, I am definitely not doing that. So, which one is it going to be? To make it super easy, here are 3 of the biggest game changers. Are you going to finally respect sleep's role in learning with the sleep sandwich? Are you going to test yourself with the teach back trick? Or completely flip your study routine with the retrieval ladder? Just pick one, really commit to it, and start using your brain the way it was always meant to learn.